Hey y'all, what is up? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Really just depends if you're new here or not. Now today, I want to focus a little bit on the discussion of not necessarily EC, but E. And this conversation is going to be pretty heavy, so trigger warning in advance. If this isn't something that like you're mentally able to do, or if this just isn't something like a topic you're ready to delve into, then protect your peace, click away. This is going to be double upload day, so there will be something for you later. Now, EC is a prominent figure on the internet at this point. She came from YouNow. She moved on to a lot of different platforms. She went from YouNow to YouTube to Twitch, Instagram, MySpace, TikTok. She has Lemon 8, Snapchat. She's pretty much everywhere right now when it comes to social media platforms. She has been on a hiatus lately ever since she was age restricted and demonetized over on TikTok, but I did make a few pretty videos prior to this one. Oh my goodness, is this really the part of the video where I'm gonna start stuttering because like we just started? Let me try this again. Now, she was recently age restricted and demonetized over on TikTok, which is the current platform that she has been going live on, uploading content on, and pushing products on. So, she has gotten age restricted, demonetized, and now she's taken a hiatus from the internet. And this is a reoccurring pattern of hers, but we are not here to talk about that today. If you are interested in learning more about that, feel free to check out the prior videos I've made prior to this one. We've talked about it quite often. Why am I here today? Because yes, EC is a gigantic problem when it comes to promoting this certain lifestyle on TikTok and other platforms. And there's always that argument of, is she really promoting it if she's just existing with it? There is a fine line with existing with a disorder and promoting and flaunting that disorder. And in my opinion, and a lot of y'all's as well, she has been basically spending her entire career promoting Xia and flaunting it, body checking, doing all these crazy things on camera. Now, I want to be very clear, just because I've covered Eugenia a lot in the past and I still cover her to this day, does not mean that she is the only influencer who exists with a disorder, and she is not going to be the only one who comes out with a disorder. While Eugenia might be the cornerstone lore of when it comes down to the influence that this disorder has on this channel, does not mean that she is going to be the cornerstone lore for everybody who exists living with what she's going through right now. So while she may not influence everybody, there's still a lot of influence under her, especially with people who have the same she's currently going through. And some of them start YouTube channels. Yep. So I want to talk about this new girl that I've recently come across about 2 weeks ago, and I have been meaning to make a video about it, but there has been so much going on. There's been other content I've been invested in making, so I'm finally getting to this, and bear with me because this is going to be kind of intense. And also, with that being said as well, she's Ukrainian. I don't speak Ukrainian. I'm not familiar with the language. There's a little bit of Google Translate that I was able to use. I don't know the accuracy of it. So if any of y'all do speak the native language, let me know and help translate in the comment section down below so we can all have a little bit more clarity as to what's being said and what's truly going on. The influencer we're going to be talking about today, I'm going to probably mispronounce her name, so also bear with me on that, is Alena. The problem with this influencer, in my opinion, is that she's not just living with this disorder and having an online presence, but she is actively flaunting it and looking up to Eugenia Cooney while she does so, even using her name. The Eugenia Cooney name in her own thumbnails and in her video descriptions to further push the narrative. Now, the video description of the one that I just showed on the screen says, Eugenia Cooney try-on haul, pastel aesthetic, accessories, and more. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a super fun Primark fashion haul with none other than the super iconic Eugenia Cooney. Now, I want to take a look at the first video that she's ever posted, which is this one right here, and I want to take a look at the date it was posted. Y'all, this video is only a month old, which made me have this like rabbit hole of a theory where I couldn't help but start thinking to myself, maybe she is taking advantage of this time that Eugenia Cooney is off of the internet by using her name as clickbait and pull power towards her channel to get more engagement and views. And she's doing this intentionally, knowing Eugenia Cooney is on a hiatus away from the internet, knowing that people are using that search engine to search for her name specifically. And she is using Eugenia Cooney's name as keywords in her content. So if people would search for Eugenia Cooney, Alena's content would then pop up. So maybe Eugenia Cooney is just somebody that Alena looks up to for makeup and fashion and inspiration, or maybe Eugenia Cooney is somebody she looks up to because they share a similar mindset when it comes down to having this disorder. Or maybe it's both, but either way, it's still deeply troubling and insanely concerning. Now, while this channel is pretty much a mystery to me because I'm not too familiar with this girl, she's fairly new to the internet, there's not a lot about her out there yet. Not a lot of people are making videos discussing her, and also, like I said, there's just not a lot known about her, and the fact that it's in a different language that I don't understand, it's kind of hard for me to watch the content and understand the context and what's fully going on. But one thing that is certainly clear is that this image of hers is starting to garner attention, and she was recently on a Ukrainian news source. Now, this is a Ukrainian television show, to my knowledge, and it featured Alena in it, and it was posted 10 months ago. Now, again, I don't understand the language, I cannot read the language, so I use Google Translate, and the title of this is "My Body, My Business. The Whole Country is Talking." Now, I guess with the attention that she has garnered from it, to her, it is probably positive attention, but we all know that even negative attention for people who struggle with this is still, in a way, positive attention. Any attention is therefore seen as good attention for them because it's just more people with more eyes on them speculating and, in a way, giving them validation that what they're doing to themselves, yes, is concerning, but that just means that they're well on their way to meeting their goal. As disturbing as that is, we've seen this mindset time and time again with Eugenia Cooney. Now, this is just somebody who is new to me. I'm not familiar with the lore. They popped up on my channel one day as I was scrolling through shorts, and I was like, this is kind of concerning. Kept scrolling. Another video popped up a few days later, and I then seen that she was kind of using Eugenia Cooney's name as a key phrase in her descriptions. So if somebody out there who's watching this knows more lore about this girl or about this situation, or y'all even speak the language, or if I'm getting any information or details wrong, let me know in the comment section, please, so I can correct it either in this video or just leave a pinned comment so that we can then actually get this information correct for anybody who's going to be watching this. Now, the comment at the top of that screen that she was making a video in response to allegedly says, again, because I don't speak the language, so there could be discrepancies in here, "My head is already shaking, not long left." Now, I guess her way of responding to this comment, how she felt was right, was to make a video kind of taking the piss out of this person by acting like she's eating this food, you know, shaking as the spoon approaches her mouth, and then just shaking her head at the situation, because they said they're shaking their head at the fact that she probably doesn't have long left because of what she's doing to herself. Now, if y'all look at the screen, because yes, it's not all gameplay during this video, this is me in real time just like scrolling through her content, taking a look at some of the comments, and a lot of people are not agreeing with what she's doing to herself with this disorder. Now, before I went into this video, and again, this could be something I got wrong as well, it's just something I did a little quick Google search on to try to figure out who she is, what's going on with her. I wanted to, before I made this video, make sure this wasn't something medically that was causing her to be this frail. I didn't want to make a video speculating if this was a disorder, if it was truly, in fact, just something medical that is currently going on with her. But even from that TV show that we took a look at earlier, I pulled up the screenshots, the My Body, My Choice. Basically, what I've come to the personal conclusion of is this is a personal decision that she's doing with having this disorder and just not eating. Don't do that, guys. That's obviously not good. I just need to clarify that for the YouTube bots who are going to end up watching this video and being like, oh, you're promoting this. I'm not. This is horrible. Don't do this to yourself. But from what I've gathered looking over stuff on the internet about her, this is something that is self-sabotage. This isn't something that she has medically that is causing this. She's intentionally doing this. Now, I struggled with this very, very, very briefly in my lifetime. And it was after a lot of stuff happened to me. Thank God I was already in therapy at the time. I had PTSD. I was recently diagnosed with it. not recently now, but it's still a fairly recent diagnosis. I've always had CPTSD, but I was recently diagnosed with PTSD after certain things happened in my life. And after speaking with my therapist, we were able to detect a slight disorder coming on. So I was able to speak about that. I got proper help for it, caught it right off the bat, and I'm fine today. But I just don't understand how this could be so life consuming. And in my personal experience, this was my body's way and my mind's way of coming together to pretty much handle the trauma and everything that was going on in my life, the emotional and environmental stress I was under on top of the absolute hell that I had went through. So this was kind of like my mind's way of talking to my body, of controlling a certain aspect when everything else was out of my hands. And while for a lot of individuals who do undergo something like this situation, like the one that she's currently going through and what EC has, a lot of it is environmental stressors, it is abuse, it is trauma, it is a handful of things that pretty much stem from some form of trauma or PTSD or even CPTSD in your life. But also a lot of it can come from just very bad body image. It can come from you seeing the wrong influencers on the internet and like wanting to acquire that aesthetic, even though that aesthetic is pretty bad for yourself and your body. And the unfortunate true events of what people see influencers who do look like this online, they probably think to themselves, well, they're living it. I could probably live it too, and they don't see the true repercussions that are going on under the hood, which is basically going to be under your skin, all those organs and everything else that are suffering because of personal decisions. Anyways, I just found this to be pretty disturbing and fairly alarming, and also I just want to wrap this up on the note of saying, I think that, yeah, of course, the show was 10 months ago, so there has been speculation and talk about Alena for a while now. But I think it was a personal decision of her to start her YouTube channel while Eugenia Cooney is taking this hiatus and then using her name to kind of promote her content. You know what I mean? Like Alena is using Eugenia Cooney in tags and keyword descriptions. So when people search for her specifically, Alena isn't going to pop up. And I think that she's doing this, in my personal opinion, intentionally. So when people go to, as I say, search for Eugenia Cooney, who's obviously struggling with the same thing this girl seems to be going through, her content's going to pop up, and maybe she can be the new Eugenia Cooney for other people on the internet. Now, when I talk about this subject, I get a lot of people who come to the comment section as well who aren't familiar with the lore over here on this channel and why I talk about the certain things that I talk about, but I will say that this is also unhealthy content, and it would also be unhealthy content for people to push like it would be a good thing who are on the way opposite end of the weight spectrum. You can't push being obese as healthy, and you can't push being severely frail as healthy as well. There's no such thing as that. There is health for everybody. Weight looks different for everybody. You know, height, everything else comes into factor for somebody's weight. So what's healthy for me might not be healthy for you. I'm very short, so if you're very tall, what's healthy for me is not going to be healthy for you. I just think that, yes, as of right now, what I'm seeing with this girl's content, she's not saying, go out there and get yourself a disorder. She's not saying that. But from what she's pushing in her content, there is a clear message that she is very happy with how frail she is. And she wants people to look at her or even adapt a certain lifestyle so that they can, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm going to stop myself before I explain this very wrong because my explaining skills today just aren't where they should be. So I don't want to say the wrong thing trying to say the right thing, if that makes sense. But y'all get it. I just feel like this girl knows exactly what she's doing with her content, and there is a clear message there. It's only a matter of time before people really start to see it. So I wanted to cover this now because this could potentially be somebody, depending on how they continue to go about their YouTube channel, that we will be discussing over here and trying to raise awareness about, because I don't stand behind this form of content. I feel like there are age restrictions set in place for a reason. And speaking of age restrictions, YouTube is doing this really psychotic thing over here. I don't know what is wrong with them, but there will be a double upload tonight, not just this video, but then another one talking about the new policies YouTube is putting in place with AI that will affect every creator and every single one of you guys. Nobody who uses YouTube is going to be safe from this. But while I want YouTube to have better policies when it comes down to content like this that's clearly promoting a certain lifestyle, it needs to be not just for these underweight wannabe influencers and also underweight actual influencers, but it needs to be put in place for everybody who's literally obese pushing the same type of message that these underweight people are pushing. Just in my opinion, there needs to be age restrictions, there needs to be trigger warnings, and there needs to be some form of like viewer discretion is advised. You know how like you turn on a rated R movie, it tells you what you're about to see before the movie starts. The warning label pops up and it will say gore, language, nudity, drugs. Like it'll give you like a whole list of what you're going to witness in the movie. So if you know it's not for you, you can click off of it. I feel like YouTube needs to integrate to using movie ratings. But with that being said, Alena, I can't remember her last name, and I do not dare try to pronounce it because I don't want to offend anybody who speaks that language. I just don't want to offend anybody. My pronunciations are horrible. I can't even do a British accent. I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name again. But this is going to be somebody who's going to be on my radar for a while. I will be keeping a little eye on this little bird and this little channel to see where and what direction she's trying to go, because right now, in my opinion, it's not going to be a good one. And we might possibly be looking at not just another EC, but the start of a upbringing of content creators who have looked up to EC. And now that EC has stepped away from the internet, they're feeling like it's their time to shine. So I just want to say, if I explained things wrong today, or if I said something that was kind of like, Revoke, why would you word it that way? Could have been worded better. My brain is like half capacity right now, but I really wanted to make this video because I actually had time to, and this has been on my radar for a little over 2 weeks. Okay, so here it is. Fill in the blanks if I got anything wrong, and if I did mistranslate anything, or if I got any information wrong about this individual, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll leave a pinned comment correcting anything wrong. This was quite literally an individual that randomly popped up on my feed one day, and I was like, you know what, yes, we're going to talk about this because this needs to be discussed, and something needs to start happening to content like this. But I want to know y'all's thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next damn video. Alright, bye.